Truly for us as bishops, as pastors of this pilgrim church in Nicaragua, it is very sad at this moment. We feel that this conflict has opened many wounds. Over these last months, we have seen painful, dramatic testimonies of persecuted, oppressed young people. At one point, it seemed that a young person had 3 crimes. 1, to be young, 2, to be a student, and 3, to be Catholic.
Being young and Catholic at this moment in Nicaragua is difficult because of the social political situation that we are going through. They are marking us, they are smearing us, they are saying this one is against us. And it shows. They do not let us be. I feel like we are a target of denigration, not letting us do the normal activities that we normally do. Now it is very difficult to reach young people because in one way or another, there's been a smear campaign against our church, against our youth. We are at the point where we can't even be in the cathedral. We were with the Blessed Sacrament, and people passed by shouting that we were coup conspirators.
At the time, it was something I did not know how to handle. It is not like somebody prepared us to live in this kind of national crisis, right? For example, once 7 patrols arrived, and they parked outside my house. It was a form of psychological torture. Maybe because I was on the streets, or because I was a youth leader. At the time, it was tense, dangerous. Only to go from the cathedral to my house, which is 3 blocks away. For my mother, it was super stressful that I went to Mass, that I was at a pastoral committee meeting, that I went to pray the rosary. It was terrible for her. Many young people, as a result of that, stopped going to youth ministry in their groups and in their parishes, obviously because of a latent fear that continues to this day.
Because we young people are the ones who have risen up against this system. And we are aware that it is somehow a spiritual battle. Because that communion between the church and young people, between families and the church, has been attacked a lot. So that is the real issue at stake for us. We care more, in reality, what God wants from us in our lives, not only the political or the economic, but also the union of the family and the union of families with the church.
I've met recently bishops from Latin America, and in view of the situation we are living in Nicaragua, they always tell us, be united, stay united, keep unity among the bishops, between the priests, and also with the people. But we already live that, because despite the circumstances, despite the challenges that we are living, social, political, and religious, they remain firm in the faith. Nicaragua has 3 great loves. A love for Jesus in the Eucharist, a love for Mary, and a love for the Pope and his bishops. They are highly religious people, especially with a deep popular piety. They're very humble people, very simple, and also a pilgrim church.
También es un pueblo peregrino.
This is how people live their faith. Even in the midst of difficulties, problems, obstacles, people demonstrate that great love to Our Lady. The people understand her as a mother and that she protects us in all our difficulties, our problems. Here in Nicaragua and around the world, if you find a Nicaraguan and ask him who is the cause of such joy, he will answer you. The Mary's Immaculate Conception is a characteristic cry of the people of Nicaragua. Without a doubt, it is a community that, in its simplicity, manifests a great affection for the Lord and a great sense of church and love for their pastors, love and respect for the Pope, for bishops, for priests. That is why, at this moment, the presence of clergy, bishops, and priests in the reality of Nicaragua is well received, and it forces us to get involved in all sorts of situations, some of which are of a social nature, in order to move through the difficult moments that the country is experiencing. It saddens me because as pastors, we sense the feelings of the population and we feel a confrontative atmosphere, like they are building walls. And many times, these walls have, as a consequence, hate, quarrels, and enmity. The main reason for the discontent of the population was a reform to Social Security, be able to collect more money. They began to tax money that was given to pensioners. This caused great distress in the population. And the students were the first to react and go out into the streets. Nicaragua is a different Nicaragua because young people, as the Holy Father says, have made a fuss. They started with protests, with social demands. Later on, it took another tone, a political aspect, like the need for the Supreme Electoral Council, the democratization of the country, the early elections. These needs were put together and is what results in today's talks. From that social explosion, which emerged as a protest from the population, there is an increased sense of solidarity in the youth. And behind the youngsters, the solidarity of the mothers and the whole population, which want an answer to the situation. And above all, because there was an official reaction that affected society.
As a part of the church communications, our duty is to accompany the people, covering the critical moments. The cruel images of brothers against brothers shooting at each other have been stamped in us. Because the policemen and the opposition demonstrators are brothers in faith, in culture, in everything in the same country.
Eso pues se nos queda impregnado.
After the protests broke out, they built blockades. They stopped vehicle traffic as a form of protest and blocked access. They detained anyone who wants to pass on foot. They are searched, harassed, some more than others. The role of the church was to mediate. Because first of all, we did not see one political party, but sought to preserve the gift of life.